feel like I'm...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the August 14th meeting of the Hyde Park Planning Board. Please take note of the exits around the room in case of emergency. And now join us as we salute the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First, before we start, a bit of housekeeping, and I know it's anticlimactic for the audience now.
Sorry.
But our colleague, Ann Weiser, all the way to the left, won first place in a bread baking award at the Dutchess County Fair. It was.
They're in my freezer.
She won it with a ciabatta, and so we are nicknaming her
Judge's Choice.
Judge's Choice. So Ciabatta Queen, the CQ from now on. I'll also add that she can now stand up to one of her neighbors, one of our also residents, Troy Frankie, who's been winning award after award after award the last 3 years at the county fair for fruits and vegetables, and he also won a quick bread award.
He won a zucchini bread and also focaccia, third place for that.
Congratulations to Hyde Park. We're moving up.
Next time, sorry.
The first one on the agenda is a new public hearing for River Ridge. This is an application seeking extension of site plan approval to complete construction of the townhouses located just north of here and on the left. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So this is one that we routinely extend because these are for sales models, therefore it's market-based. Under our code, they have 2 years in which to complete all aspects of site plan. Obviously, in 2 years, the market has not been able to absorb the sale of the townhouses. Any comments from the consultants?
Yes, the last time the board extended this approval, you conditioned it on the applicant providing you with an overlay of the trail map. They had given you the trail easement, but the map on that was, 8 by 11 and a little unclear. So you had conditioned your next approval 2 years down the road on them providing that. We're now 2 years down the road. We don't have a copy, and so the applicant has asked that you extend the public hearing so that they can provide you with the required information.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the board?
No comment?
Since I see some people in the audience who live there, would someone like to come up and speak? Come on up.
No, I don't know about that. What's that?
Stephanie, hi. Is this my microphone? I love River Ridge. It's really a great place to live.
Susan, want to state your name?
Oh, Susan Spivak. I live at River Ridge. I also am a salesperson at River Ridge for the townhomes. Just a reminder, we're single-family homes. We're not condos. A lot of people call and ask about the condos. We're single-family homes. Townhomes that are attached with a homeowners association, no condo association. We finally have our pool, which thank you very much for helping us get that, and our clubhouse, which is fabulous. And we're getting ready to close on 5 units, and
Congratulations.
we have 2 left in an incentive program, and hopefully they'll be finished. They will have their finishes, and it's just a really nice place to be, and we're looking forward to moving on with more building and just getting the place finished, and hopefully that'll be good for the town as well as far as tax and everything else goes.
If I can compliment the owners or the HOA, the place is also immaculately maintained. Whenever I drive by, it's a pleasure to see the landscaping and how neat it is on the side.
Yeah, it's nice.
And in addition, if you could just clarify this for me, I've heard, because we occasionally have other proposals similar to this one, the outside units tend to sell first, and it takes longer for the inside units. Is that the case?
Well, it's true. At this point, there are a lot of people who would like masters on the first.
Mhm.
And, it's always been a tradition that people like end units with more windows. And they're more money, but,
Mhm.
those units, but that doesn't seem to be holding people back. Money's not an issue for people who want to buy those. And hopefully in the future, there's a possibility that some of the inner units will have masters on the first. They'll just have a different look, and we're going to come to you with that.
The first time I went on a tour, when I realized it was all living space on the main floor, and you had to go upstairs, and they'd say, we're marketing it towards seniors. I was younger back then,
Yeah.
instead of being close to being a senior now, but I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
2 years later, I thought, wait a minute, you shouldn't be having steps, people have to climb them, but they're seniors, so that's probably an amenity that would be helpful.
Yeah, we do have families there,
Right?
and with the families, they like to sleep as a family upstairs, you know, all the bedrooms being upstairs, so we're not going to completely get rid of that. I mean, I can't give you the final analysis on that, it's just a conversation that's being had, but hopefully we will have a mix of some inner units that have masters on the first as well, because that is my market, mostly. You know, downsizers and
Sure.
double, you know, second homers and snowbirds. I mean, that's the unit, that's it, and our prices are really, really good.
Then we wish you luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Ms. Cosgrove, do you want to speak?
Karen Cosgrove, 42 Rolling Ridge Road. I guess I'm a little confused. I thought we were going to have the proposal for the new development and then comment on what they were planning to do.
They
We ha-
haven't provided that.
We haven't
proposal
provided
yet.
anything yet.
Oh, okay.
This is
So
just an extension of
I
what's
guess
there.
all my comments are that I wish the new developer, I understand we have some new development, and it's not going to be the same as ours. So I was just wondering, I thought the proposal was going to be tonight exactly what they were planning. And, okay.
It's not in
And,
yet.
I
We've heard
guess-
some rumor of it, but I haven't seen anything specific
Okay,
at all.
and I guess my comment is, I hope, going forward, they need to maintain what we have. That really very attractive clubhouse, but it needs to be, can't forget the people that were already there. So if we're going forward and building, because if we're outside, we have a lot of drive-byers come in and comment and say, oh gee, I'd like to live here, but what's the story with this? There are repairs that need to be made, and I just hope going forward that as they develop new, they don't forget what's already there and maintain it, because that's what sells when you have prospective buyers. I'm sure it would make Susan's job easier. And I congratulate Susan on her sales, and I.
Curb appeal is what matters the most in terms of sales
Yes,
quite often.
yes.
That doesn't just mean what's brand new.
No,
It also
it's
means maintaining what's
it's
there.
curb appeal, so.
Agreed.
Okay.
Thanks for coming out to speak tonight.
That's, okay, thank you.
Anyone else like to speak about this application? There being none, we get a motion to adjourn to September 4th.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next is a new public hearing for Taconic Realty, Violet Avenue. Right, and Mr. Oliver is recused for both the next two applications. Mr. Waters is his substitute, his alternate for these. The applicant is seeking to subdivide an existing medical plaza, I'll call it now, but originally shopping plaza, into 4 discrete units. These will also require site plan approval for each of the 4 new lots. One will be owned by, 3 of the lots will be owned by the same individual. The next that we have coming up, Hudson Valley Hospice will be purchasing, as I understand it, the 4th lot. Ms. Leibel, welcome back.
Thank you. Good evening.
We turn the-
Congratulations.
We
Thank
turn it
you.
over to you.
I'm longing to go try the bread. This is on. I think you covered a lot of these items, but just for the purposes of the public, I'll go through this again. So this is an existing facility located on 9G in Hyde Park.
Can you speak a little bit more into
There,
Yeah.
can you hear me now? If you could only hear me yell at home. There's 4 existing buildings. It's essentially an existing lot, and what we're proposing is the creation of 4 separate lots to accommodate each building. In part with that, we're also seeking site plan approval for the newly created 3 lots. The 4th lot, as you indicated, is being approved by the subsequent applicant. The facility has existing water, existing sewer, existing parking, existing access. The only modification that the applicant is proposing is improved landscaping that was established in conjunction with the town, modification to the parking spaces that are along 9G for the creation of an existing green space and new sidewalks along 9G. We have provided the town with the necessary legal documents as far as the easements. At last month's meeting, we did talk about the sidewalk easement, and we did receive that from Victoria and turned that around and sent that back to her, so it's in draft form, but at least you have it for your records. In the creation of scale, which I don't want to go into in great length because it just sends shivers at my back, we did agree to transfer 2% of the scale for the site to the other lot, to the subsequent applicant, so that they would meet scale and would not need then therefore any variances from the ZBA. Likewise, the newly created lots meet all of the bulk requirements. We provided, if you recall, a color-coordinated plan that kind of keys everything to the scale so that I believe everyone is in agreement with the numbers. And that's it. Any other questions?
Thank you. To go back to the scale issue real quickly, now you can sit down. Everyone, I believe I copied all of you, everybody. But at the last meeting, I had discussed the fact that we thought that when we did the expansion for the dialysis center, that we had used the special use permit to expand. As it turns out, we did not. Because it was only a portico that was added over an already paved space, you didn't have to use that. So you still have 50% expansion. It's very nice that you transferred over the 2% to the next applicant, which means that you still have 48% in the future reserved and banked. And sorry it took us so long to get to the bottom of all that, but we finally clarified it. And thank you for your help that day, because we all stayed.
Yes, that was the only way
the
to get it
whole
done.
room working together. The other thing to mention is basically just that, oops, sorry, I'm on the wrong file. Yes. The other thing to remember to mention is that it's been really nice working with you guys, particularly the site owner, Mr. Page, because he's been very accommodating with the landscaping. And I'm really confident this is going to look better when all is said and done,
I agree.
and give it a little kind of a new facelift.
A little bit.
Comments, Ms. Axelson?
Well, I just, want to sort of ditto what you just said, that from the beginning of this review, we've had some nice responsiveness in terms of adding more pedestrian amenities, landscaping, and some nice improvements. And our comments, August 6th, I think we discussed already, but it's some of the same things, meeting the easement agreements and minor clarifications on zoning requirements. And we're waiting for Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority, things like that, snow storage clarification.
I
So
think a
that's it.
lot of the items we've been going back and forth on and
Mhm.
making changes, but didn't include that in a formal submission for tonight's meeting, but we,
Right,
of
because
course,
we
will do
wanted to
that.
hear the
the
public
hearing.
comment
Yes.
first, so.
Mr. Sotero, any comments?
No,
New ones? Victoria?
Just waiting on the new submission. I did get the easement. I didn't get a chance to look at it yet.
That's
but-
fine.
Mr. Etchmeyer, Mr. Waters, comments?
None.
Ms. DiNapoli?
Hold on to your table. None. Are you
Ms.
shocked?
Wasser?
I do not have additional comments.
Okay.
I have no
Ms.
comments
Weiler.
either.
Thank you.
I don't either, because we don't have any new plans from the last time. We've already gone over this. Would anyone from the public like to speak about
Well,
this
you have to open
application?
the hearing.
Pardon me? Whoops, making a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for catching that. Would anyone like to speak about this application from the public? I didn't think so. So, Kelly, when do you want us to adjourn this to? You would need to submit new plans that respond there so we can reduce the number of conditions. And what I'm suggesting that oh, wait a moment. I should point out, we're opening up a public hearing on both the subdivision and the site plan. We've already concluded seeker, so that's not an issue. For the board's edification, because of a quirky bit of case law, you need to complete seeker before you close a subdivision public hearing. Site plan, it doesn't matter, but not subdivision. At any rate,
We actually made all of the changes
I figured.
right after the next meeting,
I
but
figured.
didn't, and we've been
You wanted to
working
wait in
very
case there was-
closely. I mean, Joe Berger's office and Michelle Zerfas have been phenomenal. So I think both engineers have completed the plans. I don't want to speak for them, but we're ready to resubmit for the next meeting that we're able to submit on to try to.
let's adjourn this to, may I get a motion to adjourn to September 4th?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'd like to get as few conditions as possible on this under the resolution. I'm sure Victoria's nodding too. Some of what was in Liz's memo was technical, that you could just make some changes to the plans.
Yes.
Easements, et cetera, will still need to be filed.
Well, so, hold on, let's just make sure if the plans are submitted that we're gonna have enough time for CPL.
Oh,
Liz is
oops,
away next
we
week.
have Labor Day weekend.
And vacations.
Liz is away, so I just want to make
You're
sure
away all
that we
week.
can get.
So is
Away
Pete.
all week.
Both of you are away all week.
I mean, I'll jump on it when I get
Not at
back
the same
on
place,
Monday. I'm gonna be in Monday, Labor Day. I don't have any reason to take.
I'm out Monday and Tuesday, so.
But I would.
It looks as though we may not have time to get
Revise.
this reviewed and resolutions made. Do you want us to keep this at September 4th or move it on to September 21st with the idea that we'd
I
have?
think we're probably ready for the, you know, we can go with this, is it September?
Oh, 18th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 18th. And then maybe we can work out a lot of the conditions, if we can work with the consultants between now and then.
That'd be
I
good.
think if we could just take 2 seconds to talk about procedural.
Sure.
So if and when we're at the point where we can approve the projects with conditions, I believe obviously one of the conditions would be the water and wastewater.
It's going to be the zone of assessment by the county.
Correct.
Bridget has said because there are no residents in that, on the parcel, you don't need to have the referendum.
Correct,
But
yes.
she still said 3 months, probably?
I think that's what she thought.
2.5 to 3, if there's no
So-
referendum.
When we're done at the end of this project, we would have an approval that's conditioned upon something that we can't act upon for some time. So there would be a period of time, unfortunately, before we would be able to come in and bring the plans into you. And then hopefully we can address,
Yeah, because the
All of
subdivision
this.
requires the formation of that temper, or whatever they called
Yes.
it.
Zone of assessment?
yes,
Yes.
zone of assessment.
Hart County Zone of Assessment.
Partial, that's it, partial.
And then I would think, although there may be something that I'm missing, that the condition for the site plan approval would be the filing of the
Correct.
map and the legal
Yeah.
documents. So in theory, after 3 or, 4 months, whenever that is, we could come in and hopefully have addressed all those issues and have the
At
plans
first, I was
for you.
thinking about keeping the public hearing open on just the site plans until you've got the subdivision filed, but then in speaking to Victoria, there's no reason to do that. We
I
just
would
condition
actually
it.
go so far as to finalize the plans and submit them for your signature, waiting until Bridget completes the MOU. I mean, that's really will be, and I don't want to put all the pressure on her. She's working very, very, very quick, and I believe that this is going to be heard, fairly soon on the board's agenda.
That's nice to hear. They've got a lot on their plates right now, I know.
Yeah. I
So
don't just want-
given that we know that there's that time delay, I would prefer it on the 18th, just because I'm not sure we can get all the conditions with them out, and then me taking a vacation. I don't think we're going to have
May I get a
it
motion to
done.
amend the prior motion to adjourn this to September 18th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this gives us a little more time, and you guys can work together and see, make sure
And
that you.
resolve some
yeah.
of those issues, yes. Okay, if there's
Establish maybe a
anything
better
else.
timeline.
I just didn't know if there was anything else outstanding that was significant that I'm missing.
I feel like this is one of those that we worked enough
A lot.
front-loading before the public hearing got
Yeah.
open.
Agree.
That, and we didn't have any comments, we've never had comments whatever's gone on here. There's not enough people around it to make a difference. I didn't think we'd hear
Yes,
anything
yes.
tonight.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
would, but who knows these days?
Well, honestly, I'm questioning it right now. Wait, so do we need to correct the record? I don't think we did seeker.
Right,
but you were commenting.
well, we can tell them after, it's fine. Yeah, we can do it in the approval resolution.